and welcome to the ESL Pro League. It's back again, and it's time we get into Matchday 16, and we indeed are back as well. Alex Machine Richardson joined by Chad Birchall and Lauren Pansy Scott. This should be a fantastic game. Now, there is more to look forward to than just NaVi NiP, but it is the hot match of the week, and that is going to be a big focus for us just because that's the big one.
Well,
There's a reason it's called hot match of the week.
Let's be honest, the hot matches haven't quite lived up to the title, but this one should in theory do so.
Yes, we'll be talking more about that in just a moment. This is the big one of the week coming up very, very shortly. But first, we're going to let you know what you missed yesterday, because, I mean, we saw so many pro matches played out. Myself and Sponge sitting here primarily on the desk. I'm sure he can remind you better than I how NiP and Astralis played out.
It was very close on the first map.
Right.
Second map, not so close.
You were impressed to see the Danes pushing NiP?
I was a little bit. I thought that they were going to struggle because we knew that NiP, you know, they just won that tournament. Astralis not having fantastic form, but they managed to come through and take a map. It was good to see.
It certainly was. Of course, it did seem like even Dignitas were performing as well. They got 4-0 off stream, so that was incredible for them, getting 4 wins back to back. Big stuff from them. Now, how does that affect the standings? We saw Dignitas make a huge step in the right direction. Look at them holding that big 9 and 5. The teams, beneath them, the likes of G2, Fnatic, even NaVi, of course, take that with a pinch of salt. The likes of NV, VP, all of these huge names of Counter-Strike falling by the wayside to the Danes at this point in time. But it is so close, and I think that's something you were saying to me today, Sponge, as you were casting your eyes over this. It's still anyone's game. Yeah,
I mentioned it earlier. You know, we're getting towards the end of the season, I suppose, or maybe the middle, and it's really close. You know, there's no standout team. Sure, people have said that NaVi is 6-0. But they haven't played many games, you know. I know it's good that they haven't lost one, but they've only played 6 matches. Everybody else, you know, they're sitting pretty equal. Like, it's hard to see who's going to be in those top teams. Are we able to mention now?
So this is what I was just literally, I was sitting there frantically thinking about.
It was 6:30.
They said the announcement's made at 6:30, okay. So I think
we're going to go. We're going to go. Just do it.
You take the lead, so I don't have to get in trouble.
It was 6 teams?
He's only gone and said it.
The top 6?
Yes.
The top 6 teams?
Top 6 from EU, top 6 from NA.
Yes, so it looks like a few more teams are going to make it into
in fact, can we bring the standings up again, if that's okay, just so we can have this discussion with the graphic on screen, because it's all about getting to that top 6. And so if you have a look at the cutoff and you have a look at the names present, it does look like it's going to get pretty dicey towards the kind of the bottom 3 of the 6.
Yeah, I'd say top 3, as said, is going to be pretty locked in when NaVi starts to collect more wins. With the buffer of having 0 losses so far, they should be able to shoot up the table. FaZe had an incredible start. Should be able to retain that to a degree. 7 losses is still quite high, though. And then NiP is not far off. NiP are pretty stable. If they do well today, that would be phenomenal.
I mentioned this earlier today about the round difference for NiP. It's huge. Playing 14 matches, they'll be plus 48. That's you're pretty happy with that. Having a look though, G2 sitting there at 7 and 9. They might be a little bit worried. Is it 22 matches played, or is it a few more? I should know this. Anybody?
It was 22 last season, but we added more teams.
Okay,
so it should be more.
So a few more. But yeah. It's looking good. It
is looking good. And now I've just got the NaVi results in front of me. They are 6 and 0. So they've beaten G2, Astralis, and Flipside. Those are the teams that they've beheaded so far. So not necessarily the bottom half of the table either. So I mean, I think today is going to be the big one for NaVi, given their, of course, underwhelming performance in Star Ladder. I think that's the best way to put it.
But maybe like put a bit more fire in their belly. You know, maybe they're going to come out and blow us all away. Because I stupidly said that in my Twitter predictions that NaVi were going to win the last major, and they didn't do it.
You had some faith in them.
It still has eluded them. I want to see them do well. I think they have a good mix of players, especially now with the addition of old mate Simple. He's going to do some big fragging, I think.
I love these Aussieisms.
Big fragging.
Are you aware of what old mate means, by the way? Because he's already broken it down for me. Old mate, like old mate Mitch or old mate Simple.
Sometimes it's just old mate. Like if I have to be specific here, but like
literal, surely?
No, if I was like talking to Mitch about someone who we were talking to the other week, whatever, I was like, oh, you know, old mate. If I forget his name, and he'll click onto it.
I guess I can't think of an equivalent. Like it's like that guy.
Probably just a geezer.
Geezer.
That fella.
Fella. Old mate, fella. Okay. Oh, good job. Lauren, you had a point to make before I got distracted.
I just wanted to see how Simple's going to start assimilating himself into their own style now, because as I said, I think it was Henry and Matt, when they're doing some of the interviews for Drop the Bomb, found out that they were still playing very much in the same style as previous, with Simple not really taking a unique role yet, more stepping in for obviously who they'd taken away. So for me, I want to see that transition into the NaVi with Simple rather than NaVi, you know, with just Simple kind of playing the same through the motion role. But he has been picking up that double AWP now. He does seem to be transitioning in the last couple of the Pro League games. You did start seeing it, so I think you're starting to see that crossover.
I can't help but feel that they're using the Pro League games to start making that transition. Then start they were like, right, no, straight back to we can keep our coach for this event, so they're going to do that. They went back to their old ways. So yeah, we'll hopefully get to see a bit of that experimentation. Before we do dive into the nitty gritty, we have to go ahead and introduce it, because it is our hot match of the week, brought to you by the Score Esports. It's a biggie. You get to see. Oh well, I wanted to show you. There it is. Hello, NiP and NaVi going to be clashing on both Overpass Overpass and Dust 2. And then following that, you get to see Hellraisers and Astralis going head-to-head. I do love as well that even the second stream is boasting some incredible games. You get Astralis Fnatic to look forward to on our B stream, and after that you have G2 Penta, who are in dire need of a win, both of them in fact. If G2 were to concede just one map there, they are running out of options.
And Penta haven't been pushovers.
No.
Their games have been very, very close. They've gone 1-1 in a couple of sets that people don't expect, so I don't think that G2 will get the walk in the park. If G2, you know, play to their own skill level, they'll probably just trounce it, but I don't think that's going to happen, personally.
Well, I mean, you said already, NaVi need a fire in their belly. Maybe the hot match of the week will help ignite it, as it is going to be the Swedes versus NaVi. And now we can start that discussion a little more as the names do hit the screen. Simple joining NaVi. Was it inevitable at some point that this was going to happen, Chad?
I think so. I remember speaking to Edward at ESW, not Edward, it was Guardian at ESWC last year, and he was like, I don't think NaVi will let a talent like Simple go without getting picked up. And it happened. I think he was probably expecting it to happen sooner, but it's happened now. And he's, you know, one of the best prospects in the game, so it makes sense.
Now, it doesn't say sub in brackets next to Makalele's name, which usually we do for a sub. I'm guessing that's just because of, well, no, that's probably just our graphics guy who hasn't put it in. But, I mean, there is a lot of speculation, right, surrounding where's Pitt's gone. He's definitely, well, it seems NiP love him.
See, the weird discussion was, though, is it Freiburg who's going to be removed? Because that was always going to be the next big question was, Freiburg had a really low performance for quite some time. You know, he wasn't quite hitting the shots that we expect him to or playing the way we expect him to. He was meant to be the guy to go. They were going to keep Pitt. These are the kind of, you know, the whispers that you hear around the scene was that Pitt was always meant to be coming back, and then Freiburg was the one that maybe looked at as what happens. You know, even when Disco Doppelman was playing well, everyone started to go, that could be a really nice step in. But Freiburg's actually hit a bit of performance recently. He's started to really pick up a lot. Online, offline, having really good games. So again, I think NiP's roster isn't set in stone right now, but I think Makalele's here for a little while, let's be honest.
We're going to be seeing some more of him, which, I mean, it's going to divide the community. He does seem to have a playstyle that some people love and some people hate.
I think it's a personality thing as well. I think he's a very 50-50. Some love, some hate it. You know, he's quite a cocky player.
Marmite.
You know, I guess in that way. And I think that kind of assists his play style as well, though, because he's got that kind of confidence, that explosive style that, you know, when it works, it can just change everything because it's not meant to happen almost, you know, it's that kind of random factor. But when it doesn't happen, you end up looking like an idiot. So it kind of like, it splits people a little bit.
With a chaotic presence like Simple joining NaVi, I want to know if that kind of the title or the tag that was often attached to them, affixed to them, was this very slow, methodical, T-sided team with their very late executes. Now, I remember that was so long ago. I mean, we're talking like last year, Katowice, that was the constant topic of discussion for NaVi. Has there been a shift? I mean, you know...
A little shift?
Is it a little or a large?
I don't think it's large yet. Like, Simple seems contained, in my opinion, within the team right now. If what Henry and Sadekis are saying is spot on, that they're putting him in Zeus's roles, then he doesn't get to be explosive. What I remember, like, Simple and Liquid, I can just imagine the conversation when Adrem was in the team was to be Eric, drop me Deagle, drop me Op, and he just runs around and kills everybody. In this team, he's at the bottom of the totem pole, so to speak, and he's humbled to be in this team because I think it's something that he's wanted, right? So he's doing whatever he's told, and he's playing the style of CS that he's being told, and he's probably, you know, a little bit raging inside, and he's like, I just want to go out and kill everybody. Eventually, they're going to let him do that, and when they do, it's going to be great.
I like that idea.
I think it's actually not bad for him to be humbled either, because there was always that conversation that he has got that very explosive personality too, you know, can be quite aggressive, I guess, in the way he plays. And NaVi were no strangers to having that kind of corrosive style as well, where they'd always be arguing and such and so forth. You'd always hear it. But for me, like, I think that if he does kind of bring himself in line a little bit, it always was the taming of Simple, right? It was something along those lines. And to kind of have that respect, of course, you come into NaVi's lineup, you're going to instantly be sitting there like, oh my God, I'm surrounded by, you know, the people that I looked up to probably when he started to play. So again, I think it's good almost in a way as a transition into, you know, okay, well, now you know how the team works. Let's build you up and then, you know, we can set you loose. Because once you get that basis around you, you can actually understand how you, as an explosive player, can find that space to make it happen. Because you can't just guess it. It's not like it's something that every player can work out per every single team. You find that room to make those sort of plays. So I think it's not bad that he's kind of put into a little bit of a line and then eventually can kind of find his way forward.
Because, I mean, would you not argue to a lesser extent, perhaps he experienced some of that in Liquid? Do you not remember, I believe it was over at MLG, where there was that really quite emotional interview where he had an awful performance and still managed to have the win come through. And it was like that first moment, that realization that he didn't have to always be the star, and he was able to just fulfill his role, throw his nades. And I think that was a first for Simple there. So he had a little taste of it in the North American roster, and now NaVi will provide even more so.
He's had a lot of growth over the last 12 months.
Yes,
it's amazing. Yeah, he's a completely different player. I think when he was in the lineup, obviously a flip side, he was the best player by far. And playing under an in-game leader like Blade, who's very structured, their heads would have clashed constantly. I can only imagine once Simple just went full tilt, it would have just ended up in Simple calling and doing whatever he wants, and Blade would have just gone, well, that's not worth it.
Yeah. Just, okay,
do whatever you want.
You rush drop, that's fine. You
kill everybody. If we win, we win. If we lose, it's your fault.
I can imagine it being so aggravating as well when you're like, your Blade, you've got a game plan. He goes, nah, screw you, I'm going to push through the smoke, and then gets 3 kills, and you're like, oh, it did work, didn't it? Yeah.
That's the factor, though, isn't it? It's what I was saying, that when it works, it looks brilliant, but you can't bank on it working. No. It's as simple as that. It is that fact that, sure, he can provide this on a regular basis, but wouldn't you rather have at least some structure there to start with and then him build on top? Because otherwise, it's inconsistent. Because you'll have those incredible performances where they'll pick up an upset, and then, oh, well, Flipside just got grouped again. Everyone expected it, right? So it's like, for me, I think this is an incredible roster for him to find that in. Like, this is the prime time for him to get it. And,
I mean, talking of prime time, just a quick bit of a form check for some of the individuals. Now, Guardian has always been a huge discussion for NaVi, and now he's alongside Simple. Do we get to see that double up now, or do you think it's still going to be put into the hands of C's? I know that they suggested...
We saw it coming through already.
We have, okay.
We have seen it coming through.
Because I can't... can you...
I can try and remember the game.
Can you list the scary double AWPs that we have now? Because I think it's getting scared. Like, it's getting silly. We have SK on, like, Cold Fall, and that's very intimidating. I'm trying to think who else can kind of shine a light to Guardian and Simple in terms of intimidating double AWPs. Is that it?
There's probably not too many with like two superstars.
Yeah, that's kind of it.
That's what they have. And I think somebody like Simple, who is a superstar AWPer and a superstar rifler, that's the kind of player you want on the second AWP. Seized is like a utility AWPer. He'll pick it up and he'll hold the line with it, but he's not going to be flashy, jump in, and, you know, get 3 sick no scopes and secure the round. Simple will do that, and he can also grab a rifle and run in there and do the same thing. And he's a great player. I just am curious to see when that'll be allowed. I know Lauren's saying we see that coming through now, but there's going to be a point where he gets let off that leash, you know?
Yeah, I think it's more like a situational thing at the moment where it's like, well, we're in a really good spot. Why, you know, it makes sense to do it. If he has a good spawn for it, if it works logically, then they'll go for it. But outside of that, I think that, for example, on Overpass, which I think we're going to see tonight, the fact is that actually Guardian and Simple, when we first saw them kind of starting to play this map again, they were actually kind of playing the duo role almost on the CT side. So, you know, Guardian obviously AWPing by the toilets, Simple would be watching the cross with him or playing up on long, you know, just trying to create the crossfires, playing that kind of buddy system. So again, that sort of thing is just terrifying to think about, you know, how do we break this? If you're coming up as NiP, like, okay, well, you know, Michael Ailey's got some explosive power there, they can get entries, but it's like, okay, you take down Guardian, sure, but then you've got Simple waiting. It's a very, very tough little combination of players to have there.
And the hype is real as well. Just to kind of quickly just take a step back and to outline to you guys at home why this is the Score Esports Hot Match of the week is just how infrequently these two teams meet. It's absolutely insane. If you have a quick look at how, when they have met previously, it's ESL 1 Cologne most recently, so an offline at a major, $1 million major. Prior to that, it was that crazy, I was going to say grand final, it was definitely on the big stage in front of the big crowd between NiP and NaVi over at DreamHack Masters Malmo, so 250,000. And prior to that, I believe it was MLG Columbus that they had a best of 3. So these guys haven't really met in an online capacity since, I could be wrong, no, I have it in front of me, ESL Pro League Season 3. Last season was the last time these two teams met online, and it's going to be a big one. 2 best of 1s between these giants. And the maps are going to be Overpass and Dust 2, if I'm not mistaken. I have them in front of me, yeah, Overpass and D2. It is time to start maybe indicating where we're going to be putting up predictions. This is a big one, Chad. You've had a pretty bad start with your predictions, and you've been making jokes about it, so I can too.
Maybe I'll try and justify this prediction, and it might be better because normally you rush me.
We'll do it on a map basis. No rush at all. No rush.
Oh,
let's make it quick.
Let's make it really quick.
No rush at all. Producers like, go, go, go.
Last night, NiP lost Overpass to Australis. So let's say they're going to lose it again. Just based off of,
something.
You know, that works. Yeah. And I think also that fact because NaVi's really good on Overpass.
Okay, giving it to NaVi. And
NaVi map 1.
NaVi map 1. Okay, so it does look like we're suspecting Overpass may go the way of the CIS team. They haven't dropped a map. Let's see if NiP can be the team to do so. It's over to your casters. It's none other than Henry G and Sadakist.
I think I'm supposed to start talking now. Indeed, I am. There we go. I'm into it. I've got a gift today. I spent some time hanging out with Mouse Sports, watching them boot camp. Some interesting things coming out of that with the new coach, which I can't wait to talk about in maybe another episode of Drop the Bomb. But right now, we're getting ready to rock into an excellent game between NiP and NaVi. And now I do agree with what Chad said. Yes, okay, NiP lost on Overpass yesterday, but remember, they won against G2 in the final of Star Series, and on top of that, they were playing that map very well at Star Series as a whole, and it was something we didn't know NiP had in their arsenal.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. It's something that's come into their map pool all of a sudden since the addition of Michael, and it seemed very comfortable on him, especially since he's one of the star performers on this map. It looks like we are getting into this one. The pistol is beginning. NiP on the CT side here. NaVi on the terrorists. They're going to have the 4 sets of armor and the standard utility player in form of Seized. And have a smoke and 2 flashbangs. And for now, they're heading over towards B. 4 players, in fact. No upgraded weapons, no Deagles or P250s thrown into the mix here. Everyone's on Glocks. And we'll see whether the CT's actually go a little bit aggressive here. It's going to be that, I was going to say that impressive duo of Freiburg and Exist towards B, but it's Michael who's gone aggressive and hits the first shot, nails it in fact as well, and he gets a double. Very nice stuff from Michael to kick things off, and still alive.
Still alive is a good thing. He might get more than this as well. Seized, tagged down to 15. NaVi do nothing to try and offset this, nothing to try and pull back and negotiate somewhere different on the map, because negotiations are falling apart on B as Exist will come down from the toxic barrels. He's got 2. A double for both. Guardian, 1 versus 5. Yes, the man's a magician, but he doesn't have the magic wand yet. So it is going to be just the Glock to put him in the grave. 5 stay alive for NiP. Tonight's a little bit different. So when we saw them play last night, NiP, they had a pretty poor T side. Astralis did do very well CT, and we thought, okay, if NiP can get, I remember it was back and forth the start, if they can get to the CT side and start rolling like they did with that passive aggressive style against G2 in the final, maybe we'll be onto something. Tonight we're going to see it regardless. We've got to play at least 15 rounds on the CT side for them, so we might get a better chance of NiP to get momentum going.
That's true, actually. Well, what a good start that was for Michael towards that B monster tunnel, aggressive. He nails the first headshot and the second as well. There's a ton of damage towards C, so pretty clean pistol for NiP there, to be fair. And it's going to be 3 UMPs and a FAMAS, and Michael with a scout. NaVi for now. The bomb's down in T-spawn. They're trying to get some control of the map as they make their way towards bathrooms. It's a very passive hold from NiP. You can see them actually holding way back on the bomb site here, not challenging any sort of map. Area on the map, and we've got Michael on towards A with the scouts as well, looking towards long for now. So what's the play here from NaVi? Sure, they have map control, but how do you execute onto the side with no grenades at all? You've got the Deagles to the long-range picks, but they're just not accessible right now. Michael does put one towards long, fires on a few pop shots here and hits Flamey in the process. Takes himself down to 4 HP though, and Edward could probably finish him off here.
That was quite straightforward with the Tech 9. Some damage out of Forest as well on 9 HP. Get Right's come over though with the number 36 UMP. What's your favorite number, Henry G?
76.
Really interesting.
It was my number at CGS.
All right, I forget you the sign numbers for that nonsense. As Get Right looking back out toward the front of middle. Can't find the shot just yet. That's a lot simple with the Deagle to take down Forest. They're actually down a man here still on this NiP side. No one rotating over for the flank, so they're going to hold this from the front of the site. 28 seconds bomb. It's gone back over toward the stairwell. This has time. They've forced the rotation at exactly the right moment, and they're going to go plant in the B site. NiP is going to be late to realize this. This is going to be a 3-on-3 retake against armor and Deagled opponents on the hands of NaVi. Quick spot toward the window, Seized. A shot toward Exist, and bomb going to go down. Exist in turn, though, has the FAMAS lined up, and they're going to peek him doubly so. They've got to push up catwalk. Freiburg has to go quickly to give Exist a chance as they try and pincer him back toward that position inside of the nest. And so far, Exist, he'll pull one back onto Seized, but not before Get Right falls. Freiburg has done well to get deep inside of the site, though, and can start pushing them back on sandbags, but they still have these post-plant positions that Exist. He's run out of ammo. He's down to 1 HP, so thankfully he finds the shot with the pistol onto Simple.
Well, quite a scary round there. We thought NiP had the perfect setup at the start of the round, playing nice and passive, had a mixture of UMPs and FAMASes and scouts as well, but it's Michael after that great pistol round, maybe a little bit overconfident, keeps facing towards long, gets taken under 4 HP, a simple kill for Edward to open things up, and a great rotation, like you said, with 20 seconds remaining as well. An equal situation, they managed to get themselves in towards that B site, and the plant comes in, but Freiburg can Exist. A very strong B combo, managed to retake successfully with the nice little USB headshot to finish things off, and Freiburg just have to spray the last one down. This is going to be round number 3. We do have another force buy coming in from NaVi this time after getting the bomb down. You can see them getting, it's not going to be a full force buy. It's still got about 1900 in the bank. So it's going to be Tech 9s, smokes, HEs, and some head armor as well. So then, making their way towards long. Why not, I guess, at this point? You've already taken the money out of Michael and he wasn't facing aggressively before, so why would he be doing that again? It'll be, actually in the bathrooms area, it's going to be Get Right, watching towards long with an M4A4.
Get Right's just waiting for the moment to strike, to attack. You never asked me what my favorite number was.
We'll get to it.
Doesn't matter. Maybe after the cast. It's going to be a spray down. It's Ward, Long, Guardian, and Seized. They get tagged up 41 and 32 HP, but it's worse off for Get Right. who's gone. Michaelele, though, has two. Looking for the third. He's silenced once more by Flamey, but he's done good damage. As Flamey's left with one, that allows Exist to pick not only him, but also Seized, who was tagged in the process of Get Right's first exchange. And Simple, though, does get a headshot. It brings it down to 2 players left alive again. Another reinvestment coming out of at least 3 players for NiP, which starts to dig into the fact that they don't really have a round built up yet. So this first gun round is actually a big chance for NaVi to get into the game early.
Well, we'll see what they've got available here. The buy comes in, and after that quite expensive previous round and no bomb being planted, they're actually a bit limited here. They have got the 5 rifles, one of which is a Galil, though. That's in the hands of Edward. They've got 1 Molotov, 2 smokes. That's it. This is have to be a bit of a deathmatch round for them. The good news, though, I guess, is Michaelele, the strong impact or potential on Overpass. He's only got the Tech 9, so we'll see what he brings to the table here as he actually makes his way towards middle. Spraying, this is an interesting idea from him, but Freiburg, he's going down first. That's actually him towards Connector, I believe, as well. Simple, or sorry, Seas was the one to find him. And Michaelele taking a ton of damage as well, so NaVi in a fantastic position here. Still have their 2 smokes, and can just wait to see what the reaction for the CT at this point is going to be.
Seized. Sprays through, custom spray, customary spray, I should say. It's pretty straightforward, pretty normal for people to try and do it. Michael tagged down to 8 HP, has now got an M4 in his hands. As Guardian gets closer to the front of the site, NaVi's very good on this A site. We know they're good pretty much all over this map. NaVi's arguably the best team in the world on this map, but when they first added that additional 10 seconds and when they switched this map, remember if you're new to the game that there used to be a whole different entrance from long, it would join in front of the bathrooms, there's really only 1 stairwell. Then they had one where you could go both directions. Once they limited this to just the long approach, we know smoke execution in NaVi was going to be strong, and I think this A site is a bomb site that favors their style of play in so many ways. Already NiP as well, having the reinvestments. There might be 4 players alive, but they're going to go for an early save because, again, they do not have a round built up in hand. So play the odds, play the numbers, and they'll go for it in the next one instead.
Yeah, they've had some rough opening rounds. So yes, they have the 3-0, but they've been pretty close overall. Michaelele taking that 8 HP damage at the start of the round as well. Only having the Tech 9, he manages to pick up Freiburg's M4, and they're just going to fall back. They feel like they haven't got the potential to actually win this round, considering NaVi got a clear plant down on the A site, and they haven't actually done any sort of damage to them whatsoever. So they're going to be falling back, just seeing if there's any sort of exits. NaVi are sort of going on the hunt. You can see C's tentatively looking around towards T-Sport and seeing what's available for him, but Get Right holding a very tight angle here, just looking to stay alive as long as possible. It looks like all 4 players for NiP will stay alive here, but NaVi arrive on the scoreboard. Didn't take too much, and it was an interesting round considering Michaelele only had that Tech 9. He still decided to go aggressive but to smoke. If anything, that's just a signal to say, guys, come and get me. I've only got a pistol. Probably get me first, and you're going to have that easy frag at the start of the round. But here we go then. It will be Michaelele picking up the AWP, and now he has a chance to actually go aggressive. We know this suits his style. This map is where he's been his most efficient for NiP, I would say, overall. And he's going to be using the bench. No smoke this time, just going straight up for the pick.
Michael tries to get a shot, flash over at the bench. Guardian's going to try and get out around long, and again with this AK-47, they don't need to upgrade to the AWP unnecessarily. Use what they've got when the time comes and the money's there, they'll go for it, but the early aggression again from NiP. It's looking more prominent than what we saw against G2, and Forrest is going to slip into this stairwell where they've got a stack outside of the window, so very, very heavy mid-presence right now from NiP. And this is kind of what I was alluding to last night for anyone who didn't catch the Star Ladder Finals when that double overtime game occurred. NiP on the CT side, they never really put anyone down here in these tunnels. They never really pushed the park bench with Michaelele. They were covering off map control. This is, yeah, Simple's a dead man walking, I'm afraid. Walks around, should be spotted right now, and down he goes to Exist. And they can get away.
Nice boost, right? You got 1 player on the beneath watching the short tunnel and 1 boost up to the window. Very nice to get that first pick and actually managed to stay alive as well.
So this starts to play on what I was going to say kind of in reverse, because they never did that in the finals. G2 never saw it coming when they threw those curveballs in, and then therefore they didn't use the utility to clear out the stairwell. They never checked those corners, and both times we saw the aggressive push and Freiburg get into the stairwell, and NiP benefited from it. If they do the opposite here, if they start getting NaVi to think and use utility earlier, they know NiP knows they're an execution-based team, then they have less utility perhaps to go toward the site, and they're spending more time just getting that map control away from them. So NiP could still play the mind games, but so far it's been more aggressive. Edward, he's going to take down Get Right. They've pulled this back. Guardian. Freiburg's the next one to be found. Exist is smoked off. Again, execution and NaVi, they seem to go hand in hand. So despite that boost, despite that early read against Simple, there's still problems, but NiP have headshots from both Forrest and Exist. They've got flames against them, though, from Seized, as Michael will burn alive. It is just Exist, 9 HP, spray down Guardian. Needs to be careful not to deplete all his ammo. Doesn't matter though, Seized is there. It's going to be NaVi again.
Yeah, NaVi, even after losing that first opening pick for Simple, I was going to say a pause coming in. I saw a player like kind of warping around there. I assume this is technical. I think C's has got a higher ping, so he's got an 80. I think he's getting some internet issues here. So yeah, technical pause. Didn't look like the cleanest of rounds when the actual execution came in there, but still, NaVi lose that first pick. Actually, NiP allowing them to have a lot of mid control towards long here, and we said that execution potential is always going to be there for NaVi. They're so good. Once you give them an opportunity, they'll always take it. All the smokes, Molotovs being dropped on the site, sort of flashbangs being deployed perfectly as well. Get right in that position by Optimus, just couldn't do anything about it. He's getting fully flashed, has no option for the spray. You can hear the footsteps coming in, goes for it, mowed down, and then the round just fell apart for NiP at that point. So I think we have resolved the small issue we had. We're back into the game. It's going to be 3-2 in favor of NiP, but they are going to be on a full eco this time. Not forcing into this. It's one Deagle purchased, and you see that's Michael He's got $5,000 in the bank, so he's fine for the next round. And the third stage loss bonus, yeah, they should get a pretty healthy buy going into round number 7. What's the play here, though? It looks like they'll be potentially stacking towards B. They've got 4 players towards that side of the map. A little boost coming in once again. It's Michael with Deagle, seeing if he can get that kill towards short tunnel, but I'm assuming NaVi won't give anything away this round. They're playing very defensively and seeing if they can just work the first pick and wait for the mistakes to be made by the CTs.
Michael. He's got the information to relay to exist as well, or relay to exist, who can pop out quite quickly, but that flash, he's going to get forced away, and now exist, he's playing on the sandbags without that call, but double peek out, Get Right still there, around the corner, try and time it together, doesn't matter, Get Right's got the shot with the 5-7, it's going to trap exist forward inside of the tunnel, though. That gun was tempting, wasn't it?
It certainly was.
Flamey uses it like a magnet.
Bait.
Like a nice neon light. Exist was the fly.
Yeah. Like a moth to a flame.
Exactly. Those are my favorite as a kid, watching bug zappers just roast bugs alive. I got a kick out of that.
Yeah, it says a lot about your personality.
Not a morbid person. Yeah. Not a sadomasochist at all.
Well then.
To be fair, I was 9, okay? Things were always a mess for me.
Well, back into this world. We'll
leave yours behind. That wasn't a video game.
It's going to be 30 seconds remaining. NaVi presumably going to be making their way towards the A side. That's a perfect call as well. Not a single CT will be waiting for them. They're still banking on this B execute coming in last minute. They know NaVi like to come into bomb sites very late indeed, but unfortunately for them, to be on the other side of the map. So the Molotovs are dropped. They're still being very efficient here. Don't want to give anything away before the plant comes in. Guardian, uncontested. It's going to go down. The CTs don't really have much ground to actually do anything with this. Nothing to save really either, so they might as well see if they can get anything in terms of the exits. Freiburg does salvage the AK-47 eventually. Surprising that NaVi would leave it at that. Surely they'd throw it at the map or try and hide it somewhere, but that does be picked up. And now Freiburg, if you can save the AK, it's actually pretty beneficial to their economy going into the next round. Means you can distribute the wealth a little bit more. Maybe you can provide a drop and allow his teammates to have more utility. But he's still looking for a bit more here. Headshots coming in. That's going to be Edward going down. And actually, that's finished off by Get Right as well. It's actually getting a little bit interesting. As Simple is trying to hold them off, but he's holding strong towards the bathrooms area. Does take 2 down with him and manages to stay alive as well. Get Right looking for the final one. The Guardian turned around and blasts him with the orb. And it's going to be 3-3. So Michael with a ton of cash here. And we'll see whether he gets the AWP. I'm almost certain he will do. He's been primarily focusing towards that mid area, not particularly too much towards long. He had the scout, and that one time he got taken down. Looks like he'll be going towards long this time.
I haven't done this in a while, but I'm going to call this guy out. He said the word is sado, there's sadist, not sadochist. And he says I should end my own life, but obviously he doesn't know my own name, so he should probably just mute. So, replicant, that's for you.
Should end his own life.
So, yeah. And that's it. No more chat interaction for the night. You guys have ticked me off. So, Michael, you talked about this as well from NiP, and the lack of control toward that long position, the execution, etc. from NaVi. It's 3 rounds now for the terrorist side. All the gun rounds going to the T side on Overpass. Michael, although it's a very long angle, yes, he can fall back to the side. He needs to hit a shot here if they head this direction. And we can already see it on the minimap. Bomb intentionally dropped in the stairwell. Ooh. But that flash timing, it's going to be a problem. We knew they were going to go for the peak. Now they've got it set up. Michael needs to be careful on this. Forrest is close by in the connector, but he needs some help in this position. And with Michael re-peeking to try and give him that help, they were also pushing out Get Right at the front of the bathrooms. It's going to leave them both sitting ducks. NiP are getting one-on-one basically right now.
They're looking a bit sloppy right now. Michael's trying to go out of his way to make things happen. You know they've already got long control, and they actually got an AWP staring down at you well, but his teammates doing what they can to get back into this round. Is Get Right and exist to find kills with the M4s here. NiP still fighting back, it seems. We have hit the 45-second mark, and Get right towards the bathrooms area, trying to stay alive as Simple. He's by himself with the bomb. They can manage to get this kill. They've been in a great position here. Simple needs to be very careful indeed. I'm sure he's going to check this corner where Get Right will be sitting. Actually walks straight past it. So this is about to get a little bit spicy towards the A-bomb side.
Exist is going to clear back toward long, though. So he actually gets a chance to get in behind with Get Right still out in this direction. They've actually pincered them in. 3 versus 3, and they go for the default plant here. Simple's left open. There's no one watching this Get Right. He's got a chance to go for this. He's going to wait, execute trigger discipline. Why doesn't he just take the shot? It's the bomb denial. He's trying to get a little bit too smart for his own good, I'm afraid, because now they've got bomb down, and it's just Exist remaining. They've already figured out exactly where he is, and Simple's going to get away with this 6 HP. He was dead to rights.
So I couldn't see, because of the X-ray, whether Get Right could actually see him. There's quite a deep plant to the right-hand side. The idea behind that is you want to be taking down the players that are a threat at a time, right? If the players who has a bomb in his hand, he's planting, he can't shoot you. It's his teammates who can. So the idea is you kill the teammate, then you kill the planter. But you're right. At that point, it was, what, like 15 seconds remaining? You should be just taking down the planter and actually giving yourself a guaranteed chance of throwing a lot of panic into the T side and giving them no time to actually work the plant, which is the main objective. And it's NaVi now with 4 rounds in a row. And it's going to be a force buy from NiP doing what they can here, but Seized and Edward doing some work here with the Mac-10s, mowing down the upgraded players, and they had armor as well. It's going to be a 5-7, a Famous, and a Scout remaining. And at this point, NaVi don't really need to give too much away. Seized gone down to 10 HP. Edward's been tagged as well, but it looks like they will be just holding up and seeing what the CTs are going to do to hunt for information. But yes, you're right. That was a bit of a strange call from Get Right. The X-ray may have been a little bit misleading.
It could have been, yeah, and we didn't see it from his perspective, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You might be onto something, because that seems like the obvious call in that sense.
It was from right to like the little ledge from the flower bed in front. You might not be able to see it because of the animation of the plant.
Well, either way, it's going to be now NaVi once more heading toward this A site, and they've already got 2 kills. These force buys from NiP, I'm afraid they're looking very lackluster, and maybe this is something that they get a little bit too confident about NiP. They win a tournament, they think, all right, Overpass was actually our saving grace in that tournament, but now they're back online, and team's looking okay, a little more composed. They're taking it back away from them. Michael, great jump shot. And NiP as well, a chance to be the first team to beat NaVi this year. That's big. That's massive if you can get a win that no one else has been able to achieve.
Yeah.
Because it puts you in contention for now what is one of the final 6 spots. If you didn't catch that announcement at 6:30 tonight, it was CEST. It's 6 teams from each region this time around. Not an 8-team LAN anymore, as it's a pretty straightforward round to close out. We saw that one coming. It's a 12-team overall
I believe
LAN.
that was a decision by the Wester Council as well.
It was,
right?
yeah.
So
The players actually involved
cool.
in that decision. So there we go. We're seeing players finally getting some demands met toward these leagues. Maybe there's some hope for the West Side and PEP after all.
There's so many orgs coming in here, but that's actually a really cool move. They've actually listened, and it seems like everyone's quite excited about that. I think we've been calling out for it for a long time. In terms of players on social media and stuff like that, they've been talking about that for ages. Very cool. Anyway, NiP after that force buy are going to be onto a full eco here. The maximum loss rate has been obtained, so we're going to get a scout out of this one. And Get Right does find a kill with the Desert Eagle. Michael Lady towards long as well, doing some damage. Trying to get this kill towards Flamey, but he's going to be flashed out for now. Flamey is waiting for some backup here before he finally commits. Flamey needs to be careful though, as he has got the bomb by himself, and sees he's just walking to the B side. They're actually being a little bit overzealous here potentially. They're by themselves, and this is the worst way to approach an anti-eco situation. And now we have managed to give Get Right an AK-47, Freiburg on the scout, which he bought by himself, and Exist has got an M4. So all of a sudden, this is looking pretty equal.
Exist, though, the timing is there. He's going to try and work back into this lower stairwell. It doesn't even matter. Get Right's the one to catch Guardian. They had him either side, covered off. Freiburg deep inside of the site, caught by Edward before he could get back down the stair. Tried to hold the angle. Interestingly enough against that AK, but now they know toward the bathrooms that the CTs still remain. They're not 100% sure, as shown by the Molotov thrown away, but the bomb plant was adjusted accordingly.
They've got an AWP, which they did throw away. They're going to go for the retake with the rifles. It's probably the better decision. They need to be a little bit quicker here. They have not got kits. They haven't got a smoke, so they seem to be hunting for these frags as quickly as possible. Get Right shows himself by jumping over towards Bang. Flamey takes him down, and will be the 1v1 now. Edward versus Exist. Exist tries to bait out the full defuse, but he's looking in the wrong direction. Edward comes in for the easy spray down. And NaVi, although it got hairy, they managed to get the 6th round in a row. There it is. Money just swelling here for the terrorists. You can see 13k on Flamey before the investment into this round. But finally, NiP back into contention terms of the gun round. They have been relying on Michael quite a lot here for the opening picks of the orb. Now it's Forrest to have a go. He's not looking for crazy openers towards the start of the round, and he's normally more of the terrorist on the CT side. It looks like he might be going himself to actually have a go, maybe at a different spawn as he drops the initial smoke. Doesn't decide to use it though, as he's going to be holding back. It's been a problem. They seem to be relying on his opening picks on the CT side themselves instead of sitting back and allowing NaVi to actually come to them. They've been losing that first pick consistently.
Edward is popping balloons.
Why not?
Like a Trump pinata. The most sold pinata
is it
in Mexico and in the southern U.S. right now.
I have no idea.
Yeah, well, the more you know. You learn something new every day, Henry.
What's your favorite number?
22. And 12.
And 12.
Exist. Gonna wait, get that flash timing perfectly, walks back out, drops bomb, but Edward there to trade it back, so they'll be able to pick that up. No problem, adjust accordingly. Freiburg now plays the barrels. Molotov off toward Monster, but 50 seconds. He's gonna have to be careful in this position right now with the rotations coming in late. He's stuck up against the boards, and a second flash, Flamey. That's pretty easy on the way through from NaVi. That flash, though, makes things interesting as Get Right goes through the smoke after bouncing one out of the window himself, jumps down, catches a kill. Smoke wall on top of the site, and sees, finds the only gap in it on top of the planks. It was Get Right's intention to try and do the same and elevate himself above the smokes to deny the plant, but he's not been able to find it. It's 3 HP for Edward, but it is the man advantage still from NaVi. Michael pull one back, but it's just him remaining on one. And Simple gets 2 kills in the end to close it 7-3. They're running with this now.
Yeah, but this is a classic NaVi, right? They're waiting. They're sitting back for the ninjas to make the first move on the CT side, and time again, they're making it. This time, it's Exist towards that B side. We normally compliment him and Freiburg having that solid B hold and dropping their incendiaries at the perfect times when the terrorists are coming in. This time, they flash over Monster. Sure, they get 1 kill, but it's traded straight away. Everyone knows that Freiburg's going to be by there by himself. He's forced to use that Molotov at the start of the round after that encounter, and then the flashes come in. He can't really do much about it. So NaVi just waiting for NiP to play against himself at some point, and you can see that's quite an easy transaction for them as they get the 7th round in a row. Another force buy for NiP. Scouts, UMP, 3M4s, limited with the grenades as well. They're trying to make something happen once again. This is what NaVi want you to do. They want you to push into positions you can't fall back where you're committed. And they've got the lesser firepower as well. This could be a serious problem. Forrest with this Scouts. Good luck against Guardian with the AWP. I think you're going to need it.
Yeah, that's not a battle I'd want to take. Even if he had a pistol and I had the AWP, I wouldn't want to take it. Edward, he's got the shot back against Forrest on just the AK. They're going to go for this boost again, and Guardian looks for it. He's got it as well. Fool Simple, shame on Simple. Fool me, not to be. I don't know how that rhyme goes, but it doesn't matter. Guardian's got a kill back against him. It sees he's going to find the man that was boosting as Freiburg falls, and Flamey, he'll take Michael. Exist 1 versus 5. Good luck, my friend. He might spot utility over your head. That'll give him 1 actually for relatively nothing in return as he sits on 86 HP, but come on. Are we really expecting this round to be pulled back by him alone? And he's low HP on 2, but Bomb's already planning on B.
Well, then Exist. All your teammates are dead, and you have an M4, no kit, no nades. I guess you need to save it. That's another force buy from NiP. They've gotten that sort of rut where they're not winning any rounds, getting to the closing sectors. Over the first half, they need to get something, a bit of luck. Someone needs to step up. They're going into Scouts and UMPs, and Forrest goes down to the hands of Edward with the AK at the start of the round, and then they just don't have anything to hold them off. NaVi in such a commanding position right now. They've got money for days as well. They're going to have 12k on Edward before this round even ends. And that's only going to increase as we go into round number 12. So Existers need to stay alive here. They get $3,400 here, a maximum loss bonus at this stage, but just won't have enough to buy. If they want to buy again, it's going to be down to Famuses, shotguns. Exist now does have enough to drop an AK at least, so that's going to be tempting for them to buy into this. Let's see what he decides to do. Pause comes in, probably the right time to do it. Yeah. It's getting a bit chaotic. They're trying to force situations every single round. They feel like they have to be the ones working for it. But NaVi have read this and are just holding back and waiting for the flashes to come in. They've got nice little crossfires set up. They're getting the trades every single time. Every time NiP get a kill, NaVi get it back. Goes to 4-4. Huge advantage for the terrorists at that point. They're so good at getting the map control and doing the executions. That is bleeding them dry.
Do you think there's a sense of complacency from NiP? They were the underdog going into Star Ladder. They win the tournament in a very surprising fashion. You're pointing out a nice statistic that Exist is actually leading all fraggers despite where we are in the score. And all things considered, the frag distribution is quite close, aside from Forrest, which is also surprising to see him that low. We'll get to that in a minute. I just want to finish this point before we get too far off on a tangent. They win as the underdogs, and do you think that by chance they take that and think maybe too much of it. They get a little overconfident, and now they're looking a little lackluster because they're not putting the same amount of attention to detail, if you will.
After they won the major, that's when they had like, the curse, right? They felt like after that was in what, 2013, and they felt like they could never really bounce back from that. That was a start.
And after Malmo, they went on another little slump too.
Massive start too. It seems like maybe it's like the pressure builds up to so much. They're so used to being in the slump, they get this huge elated win, and they're so happy about it. I think for Vlaren, we were discussing what it was behind it. He said he could never really focus. He felt like that was it. Then it was so much.
It's like an exhale.
It took so much to win that tournament. And then when you finally finish and you come into these online games, it's like, it's difficult to get into them. It's difficult to even get the same sort of adrenaline and get riled up and ready to win games again. You can see they're looking pretty lackluster right now. Forrest, probably in the best form of his life right now in terms of CSGO. 1 for 9, like he's just having a horrible game, and they keep force buying, and Michael Eddie's not having the same impact he was in Kiev. That was a massive strength of their bow, and this time he's just forcing himself into situations which are unfavorable. Long comes to mind as well. He knows Guardian's set up there. He's spotted multiple terrors. He's still just flashing over, trying to force it, even though it's really unlikely he's going to get like the advantage of that situation as well. It's a difficult angle to hold. If you're on top of the flower bed, sure, you're entitled to one shot normally, and you're fast enough, you're going to get the kill. But if you're trying to flash over and go on the corner, even if you blind the AWP, he's going to fire in that position anyway, right? And he's going to probably take you down. But still, no one's really turning up here for NiP. Apart from Exist, to be fair, 15 kills for him, but they haven't won a round since a pistol, so those kills not really that beneficial if you're not winning the rounds.
Yeah, absolutely so. And I mean, you also pointed out, we also highlighted it, the Forest with only 1 kill.
Yeah.
It's pretty shocking. It's
depressing
almost.
Like, when I was watching him in Kiev, I was just like thinking to myself, this is some of the best CS he's played in CSGO in a long time, and this certainly isn't. I guess at this point, they're trying different things. He's had to go with the AWP on the CT side. Michael Eddie's been running it, and no one's really getting into the swing of things. But Exist now with the AK-47. I'll jump on board with him and see what he's up to. He's going to be behind the smoke towards B, but this could be interesting considering that's where potentially NaVi could end up. They're boosting right now, and they do spot, I assume, Freiburg. Actually, Michael Eddie, who's boosting out, trying to find anyone he could.
Apparently, the new coffee machine is the loudest thing in God's existence.
What a perfect place to put it, right next to the casting desk.
That is, yeah, wow. Guardian, though, going to take down Exist, who needs maybe another cup of Joe. Is Michael Early and Freiburg. This is just assassination. What is this? All headshots. Yeah. Just a shooting gallery. And Forrest is the next line. Headshot as well. No surprise. NaVi 9-3. Now NiP will go back to weapons, and they won't carry over that AK any further. Sometimes when you see that the one gun carried, you try and do something. Okay, well, here we go. This is something different.
Double AWP. Why not? When all else fails, chuck this into the mix and see if you can get rolling this way. They were doing this primarily on the T side in Kiev, and it was working very efficiently. Didn't see it too much on the CT side, but nothing's really working for them whatsoever. So let's get the double AWPs out. Hope someone can step up here. They're actually going both towards the same area. Actually, Forrest in the connector, Michael Early boosting about that same old smoke, but it looks like a B play coming in pretty quickly from NaVi here. They're actually going to be taking it over short and looking towards Monster Tunnel as well. This could be a fast execute, mix things up completely. A simple hold towards that connector area. He actually gets through uncontested, so the AWP's having no impact whatsoever. They're having to fall back to the A site. This could be quite a fast play from NaVi.
Timing of that flash. Simple was fully blinded. He could clearly as day on our screen see GetRight, but he himself was fully whited out. And GetRight just holds the angle as he walks back over. That's twice Simple's been caught off by an unorthodox boost. That's a lovely shot from Flamey, to be fair, on the way through. Perfect crosshair placement. Exist gets caught. He plays that position so frequently. But it's still a 2 versus 2, and it's exactly that. 2 AWPs, one of them already limited its movement from jungle, so Michael's going to have to be the one to step up in this situation. But twice Simple's been caught by boosts.
They've got no kits, no nades, and they're against Guardian as well. Both of these guys are good AWPers, but are they going to be faster than the old master is yet to be seen. Flashbang comes in, that's their final bit of utility. Forrest needs some intel here. There's so much time available for NaVi as well. They don't really need to show. They know the AWPs are here. They're just going to wait for them to make the first move, which has been a big tell. Look, what can you do against that?
That peak is just absolutely insane. Even with X-Ray, I don't think I saw him clearly. That's ridiculous how fast he just hit that shot.
Well, they know exactly where he is now. Michael in a very difficult
Phase
situation.
up, Michael. Phase up.
This is the time to actually start getting the 360 no-scopes out.
He's still got it on
He's still out of position now. He's just lost the control of this position now. He has no idea what's going on.
Yeah, he's gone. He's out. Save the AWP. NiP win a pistol round, the 2 ensuing, and they were close then. Maybe that was the writing on the wall for us. And suddenly, it's all NaVi with 9. Michael's going to go for this. No kit. Yeah, might as well. Round 13, get tagged up. Guardian hits with 1, closes with the pistol. A left swing and a hard right hook to follow it. It's going to be 10 rounds already for NaVi. We're only on round 14.
The problem is when you get to this stage, you need more than 3 rounds on his CT side. They have to buy. Freiburg has picked up the alligator, as Chad would call it. I've been learning some of the Australian slang. So the auto shotgun is called the alligator, you know. And it's going to be FAMASs and UMPs. So this is not a pretty situation. Once again, they have to be working for the fracture. They can't really sit back and allow themselves to actually get picked up 1-by-1. This is the play from Forest, but they read it quite nicely once again. Michael, be careful, there's fire beneath you as he tries to reposition to a more advantageous area. He's with the FAMAS now, and he stays limited. Now he's locked in by that Molotov as well. Just has to hope he do not check this position. And Guardian, he can hear him coming. 5-on-4, once again, NaVi. This is their bread and butter, having that man advantage and waiting for the CTs to come in with something else.
Well, it's Flamey to work up with Edward. They're going to clear bathrooms as they've always done. Same nade, same bounced into the corner and covered off immediately after by Edward for anyone that might be scurrying frantically away from the damage deployed. Get Right, meanwhile, is going to push with his Grand Prix 36 toward the bathroom. I also like 27. I can respect that number for Canadian reasons. As Simple gets back down this stairwell. They'll find Michael. They still can't find any openings. Finally, Exist does get one back. Speaking of openings, through an open doorway, forced open by Damage. As the hole inside of it allows the kill to come back, it's going to be Get Right still in front of the bathrooms. He's going to have the company. Though. 2 players have gone by him at long. Now, this is an interesting... Oh.
As he sees them, he's got the UMP. He's trying to tap away. Actually doing a pretty good job there.
This is the thing, though. This is the kill that matters because Guardian has the bomb. If he almost waited, he didn't know Guardian was there. He could have had the bomb down on that. With 26 seconds as well.
Well, they're doing a pretty decent job here, considering the circumstances as well. Freiburg has to push through that Molotov, trying to make something happen here. The auto shotgun comes closer to the site, doesn't do any damage just yet, but he can't find the final shot. I thought that would be the play that maybe wins in the first round, and unfortunately, it just exists in the 2-on-1. They're not checking towards him, but that gives his position away, and Guardian finishes things off. So after winning the pistol here, it's 11 clean rounds in a row for NaVi. Matthew, I don't think anything exciting is going to be happening in this game.
Nope, I think this game is, I mean, maybe win a pistol in the second half.
It's not the same NiP we saw.
However, if we get 12-3, Matt Klein will remind you in our ear, I'm sure, that that is the comeback half this year. Everything that's gone 12-3 is never easy as it looks. So maybe there's something in the air again tonight. Regardless, 14-6 now for Guardian, and he's looking sharper and sharper as this game goes on, which is a scary thought. They've also got... Yep, okay, there you go.
We were discussing this quite a lot in Kiev. Why is he not the secondary AWP yet? Why is it always C's? They said they were working on the roles, and it's going to happen. And that's going to be when NaVi become one of the scariest teams in the world. We saw what Simple can do as a secondary AWP. Got to the grand final, the last major.
Semis before.
Yeah.
And this is the right time to practice something like that. All right, we're working on the roles, but there's so much activity on the calendar. How do you really get it into a game? Well, you get it into a game when you have an 11-3 lead. There's your time. It's like in hockey, you know, you're rolling the lines when you're in the lead, but or go back in a close game, 0-0, started out, first 2 lines get all the ice time. You start winning 3-0, 4-0, and the bottom 2 lines get all the ice time. It's how you get more practice into those players.
I've always used that analogy.
That's what I thought. That's why you're my boy, Blue. I mean, Henry. And it's going to be Flamey going down, though. Pull this back as Get Right will find the trade kill. Perhaps NiP can bookend the half, by getting a 4th round. That's all they've got so far, 11-3. It's pretty remarkable. That came off the pistol as well for NiP. It's a very, very underwhelming half. As Edward already in the site catches Michael off, who's still out toward bathrooms. The communication's not there for NiP. They're not playing off of each other in tandem well at all to take map control, considering you have to be aggressive and assertive on this CT side. Forrest will at least pull back on Edward, but now that's going to push things and funnel them over toward the B site, where Freiburg has one smoke in front, does find the opening. It's Get Right instead, and now they've dropped the bomb as Simple gets found. But let's not forget, it's Guardian that's still alive in this, and he's been looking better and better as the game goes on.
God, he just knows, doesn't he? If he's only got 10 seconds here, surely they need to wait for him to actually go for the plant, stay alive, and he might actually get his plant down. Forrest won't be there at the time, and he's trying to do... Oh! Okay, Guardian. I guess he knew the time was up. He needed to make something miraculous happen, but all of a sudden, NiP, they do pick up round number 15. After winning the pistol match, it's 11 clean rounds in a row for NaVi, and a forced buy towards the end.
I don't know why I'm still wearing this. It hurts, actually, under the headset.
I don't know why you are.
I like looking silly. But, I mean, there's not much. I'm being silly right now because there isn't much to talk about. Like, that is shocking from NiP.
Still, 11-4, still possible to win. We'll take a break. And we'll find out if they can win the second pistol, maybe get back into it. It's not going to work.
Well, we get back into it. A highlight clip doesn't seem a necessity in all of this. It was flashy to start for Michael, but really NiP fell flat immediately after. 3-2, that was the last time we saw NiP in the lead, and it's been all downhill. A very steep, slippery slope downhill as well.
Yeah, didn't really turn up for the CT side at all. It didn't look like they were really up for the game at any point. Winning the pistol, looking fantastic at that point, but then all of a sudden dropping off as soon as the gun round started. They tried to force situations, but not hitting the shots or potentially over-committing at some points as well. NaVi were loving it. Every chance the CTs came towards him with that over-commitment, taking them down after the flashes came in. And it seemed like NiP just didn't want to wait for any commitment from NaVi at all. They just wanted to keep forcing them into the situations that were unfavorable.
And I couldn't understand how out at bathrooms you got caught in so many isolated one-on-ones. Michael loses an op duel, re-peeking with Forrest not quite in a position to go with him, so there's no trade. Yeah. Forrest is then left alone. GetRight's trying to get out of the front of the bathrooms to get closer to him to help him out. Forrest goes down, and then as a result, GetRight's on his own in the open. It was just a poor sequence of timing and teamwork from NiP.
Absolutely. Just not the team we've come to expect after that showing in Kiev when they looked incredibly hot and everyone was just playing a great individual game. Everything fell apart across the board there. No one stepping up. Forrest, I think he finished on maybe 1 or 2 kills towards the end.
Yeah, it's pretty shocking.
And he's been in some fantastic form recently. But NiP, they win the pistol. We still have a game on our hands. It's never over until it's over. You know, it's always a chance that something miraculous could happen. But the form NaVi in right now, if they pick up the pistol, I think that's pretty much it, I have to say. But here we go. 4 sets of armor for NiP. Freiburg, he's got the smoke, flashbang, decoy. He's got all sorts of grenades to bring to the party. In round number 1 in the second half, we'll have a look at the setup for NiP and see if we can get any reads as to what's going on. What's interesting, though, Simple, Guardian, and Edward all going aggressive towards middle. You can see Guardian, Edward towards long. Simple challenging. Aggressive, of course. And there's going to be 4 players for the connector for NiP. Need to be very careful there. Don't actually get the refrag coming in. It's Simple, very good in these positions. You can get one more, that'd be fantastic, but NiP get the man advantage for now.
And Forrest is the one to do so by getting down Guardian. Watch this position in the front of the bathrooms that they've already bypassed, but then fallen away again where Flamey was playing. He would have loved for them to have committed and gone all the way to the A site. He would have been the, as you would say, snake in the grass.
Indeed, I would say that.
Freiburg, one side of that doorway, Flamey the other, and Edward's just going to watch and bait him in, try to at least, as Freiburg goes aggressive. This does mean that they've given up long, so the rotation coming over from Seized at this point will be all they really hope to shut the site down with, and that's a good kill from Edward. Now he and Flamey can both look back to the site and try and do some damage to NiP. Flamey's done exactly that, catching Force. Bomb's going to be planted inside of default, but that may not even happen because they pull it back, and that's all due to Edward being assertive and saying, I got your back, Flamey, I will come help you. That's how teamwork in the bathrooms is done.
Yeah, that's lovely stuff there. As soon as he gets that kill as well, you can see them reacting straight away, both facing towards the site, hitting absolutely every shot as well. Edward and Flamey actually going to be taking matters into their own hands, and NiP do not get a plant down either. They won't be force buying though, which is interesting. Normally most teams that don't get the plant, they will automatically be forcing to the second. That means something interesting coming in the third map. They haven't bought a single thing here. That suggests to me they'll be getting Galil's armor in round number 3, which is... Okay, Guardian, lovely shot from him, which is an all-in sort of move. But at this point, at this stage of the game, you probably do need something to go miraculously in your favor, considering the way things have gone so far. It's going to be Get right now. Going in, they can't really even expect the plan to go down here. No nades, no aggressive pistols, just Glocks. They just want this to be over as quickly as possible. Maybe get a kill in the process. Guardian seems to be hitting everything on the scout, though. The bomb's been dropped. And Freiburg, surely going to end this quickly as possible. Or get a kill. Why not? All right, 2 bursts to the face of Guardian. At least gives them an extra $300. That certainly helps. I'm pretty sure they're going to be buying Galil's armor, Matt, which is quite an interesting idea.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan. I prefer if I could get one of the 2 weapons. I would prefer the FAMAS over the Galil. For whatever reason, it just feels a lot more...
I don't know. I like the Galil over the FAMAS.
It has headshot potential, I will say that.
Yeah, it's very similar sort of firing style to the M4. If you tap with it, like you need 2 headshots, and it's quite easy to control the taps. So it's better than I thought. So they're going to go for AKs, some with head armor, so Michael and Forrest. So this is how it depends who got kills on the pistol, really, who can get what. So you can see Exist, he's on the Galil. Get right, just got the Tech 9. And they have got 3 AKs, one of which has an armored head. Everyone needs to speak of, but this is the response from losing the pistol with no plants. It's going to be Simple, aggressive towards Overpass, and Freiburg does take him down. Guardian looking to respond.
Guardian has a Molotov in front of him, though, that's going to cover off all the way to his position and the stairwell. meaning that he won't be able to push back up that stairwell and catch off anyone going out toward long from the NiP side. It means he's also a sitting duck if they'd elected to try and pincer and push him into that corner and keep him there by brutality. But it's not the case. They've gone all 5 back over toward... Now that smoke's a bit peculiar. What was the intention of that? I'm not 100% sure for Edward.
Oh, was it Edward who dropped it?
Yeah, he dropped it himself. I'm not really sure what his thought process was, because if he drops it down, maybe he's trying to bait them in on that gap, but that gap was the size of a freaking transport truck. I'm not really sure what the plan was.
Well, so far, this is actually working out pretty nicely for NiP, especially Freiberg as he finds the first 2 opening kills. Potentially, NaVi not really expecting the situation. You saw Simple going aggressive by himself towards the connector, hoping for another eco in front of him, but actually found a AK-47 of Freiberg. He's given that AK over towards Get Right. Get Right's also got Zeus as well, so maybe we'll see that come into the fray. But for now, this is where NiP can get the plant down as well. It looks like NaVi will be saving the weapons. It's probably the right call at this stage. They know that NiP have got all the men alive, and actually seems like they want to contest something. As Flamey just trying to find that first kill. Going to be taken down eventually. Now it's just Guardian who's in the connector. 4 players alive for NiP, and this Hail Mary play does work out for them. It's going to be Get Right with the final kill there. 13-5. We'll have a look at the money for NaVi. It's actually broken them pretty significantly.
Well, in doing so, like you say, breaking the money, it gives NiP a bit of a chance to make a run in this, but is it all for naught? NaVi, remember, their average win, they're plus 41 with 6-0. Their average win is something like 16, either 16-7 or 16-8, obviously, but like 16 point, I don't know, 1-7 or something like that. What's the math work out to, Henry? Doesn't matter, it's dominant. That's how they've been online all year. And it doesn't seem to be any different here. There's something about the way NaVi's taking these games, and maybe it's just a sense of focus as they're trying to still implement Simple. We know online games, sometimes they can be lackluster for communication. You're not sitting with each other, you're not playing with each other as much in terms of a LAN where you get each other's monitors to play off of, you get the communication spot on. Who knows what you did for warm-up that day? I know G2 and Mouse Sports played a number of scrims, but I don't know what these guys were up to, do we?
We don't, no.
Get right. Michael. This smoke's easy to line up, but easy to get taken down. We saw Exist get caught there last night against Astralis.
Yeah, NiP will be just getting the full on control. Get Right, picking up the bomb and T-spawn. They've got full control along that smoke, just designed to take the vision away from the CTs, allow the Ts to get very close at this point. Actually, maybe falling back. They're taking the bomb towards connector here, so maybe wanting to change their approaches. Michael Eddie's still towards long. See what the reaction is. We have got a Nova in the hands of Edward. He's towards B on the short area as well. They do elect to go back. That's the only bit of firepower that NaVi have available. But it looks like they will be committing towards A eventually. The nade comes in. Should be relatively decent. No, doesn't actually land too much. Guardian, P2000 in hand. Couldn't really justify an investment here. Might get a kill out of this though. Does damage. It's Michael to breaking point there, but doesn't quite finish him off. And it's going to be the 5-7 of Flamey to take that Exist, and could have got the double there as well, but this is the round secured at this point for NiP.
Well, seized only with 10 HP. He's going to try and do what he can with that USB. Apparently what he can is take down Forrest, who doesn't have a struggle so far, it has to be said. Get Right, covering off the front of the site, gets caught by Edward's shotgun. They do get this down to what was a favorable situation for only a moment's notice, but with the HP as it is, the no kits, bomb planted, long range, rifles, well, your writing's on the wall. You don't need me to tell you. We're all friends here. I don't need to patronize the audience, Henry.
Yeah, I don't think you have to do that just yet.
They're intelligent.
Well, Simple.
They know what the hell's going on, Henry.
What the hell is going on, Henry? Well, there we go. NiP, this is what's going on. After losing the pistol, it gets to 13-3 and, or 13-4 I should say, and they get back and bring it back to 13-6. So at this point, though, we have got a double AWP setup. It's Simple and Guardian, Matt. A duo we've all been waiting for. It's debuting here in Pro League, and we'll see whether it pulls off, because Simple, we know how volatile it can be, how good he is at opening up situations and just being a thorn in the side of everyone he faces, and we'll see whether he can actually have some impact. It might not be enough time to see everything they've got available to them. Obviously, it's getting to the closing stages now, but I'm interested to see what kind of playstyle he brings to the table.
Freiberg just watching down that long corridor. Simple though, this AWP, we haven't seen it really come to fruition from Michael Ellie's perspective on the NiP CT approach, but he's going to fall off it as well. Double op setup, as you mentioned, going against that of just Forrest.
So scary to think about Simple and Guardian. One of these AWPs, what a duo that is.
Simple's just waiting. I mean, this is the duo we thought could take on coldzera and Fallen. Smokes out, straightforward landing position. We knew where that came from. Simple's not going to elect to play directly hugging the wall with that AWP. He doesn't want them to get too close before he's got to act with some sort of swift, confined fashion. Instead, he wants the front of the bathrooms. But as we see it on Minimap, he's a little bit vulnerable right now. They didn't attack long fast. If they had, he would have been caught in the open. Instead, it's Edward pushing back through the smoke into the hands of GetRight, and he will embrace him with an open AK, as it is going to get the kill in the way of NiP. They've got the man advantage on the way through, and Freiburg through smoke is going to take down Seized. The silencer won't protect him, even though the tracers are not shown. It's all NiP on the way through. These double ups last alive, and already Guardian's long away from the site. Simple's going to run away and try and join him.
Well, what a perfect way to shut down the AWPs. Flash them back, and on the bomb site, drop every smoke you've got. It's a full execute. The wall of smoke's stronger than ever, and Simple loses his AWP there. But see, NaVi just didn't have a chance there at all. They're forced to push through the smoke and try and deny the plant. And NiP, especially Freiburg, we talk about his good form at the moment, manage to find 3 kills here in round number 5 at the second half. Maybe we have a few more twists and turns here of the 11-4 scoreline, only winning the pistol, really. So the Guardian going down as well. That's actually a round where NaVi don't find a single kill. Of course, Freiburg gets the final kill. And, oh my lord, it's NaVi on another eco. Can you fathom a world where NiP pull this game back and win?
I can. It's early 2015.
Okay.
And it's NiP Magic.
NiP Magic.
Do you remember when they embraced that meme and everyone's picture? You know, they all have the little avatars right now.
One
they were all magicians. And then Alu was being pulled out of someone's, I think Alu was being pulled out of the hat. That's right. And I think it was Exist that was holding the hat.
Yeah. They had like playing cards and a magic wand. Yeah, that was actually pretty funny.
Yeah, it was grim times. Thankfully, we've moved beyond that. Michael as the stand-in, he's not even given and assigned by ESL Pro League, his own avatar with NiP's logo on it. But right now it is a 1-for-1. Seized on the pistols, pulled back against GetRight. But Michael, speaking of, he's going to hold toward Monster. They don't try and pinch back and catch off GetRight. He's there with the AK. So it is now a man advantage for NiP. So with all of that said, the round slows. NiP, Freiburg, good assassination, should just be able to waltz their way into the site and make easy work of NaVi, even though they tried to put a stack toward this B side. It got picked apart with the aggression, and it didn't really exist in the site when they did arrive to plant bomb. They don't even have to do that. It's going to be Forrest getting down Edward 13-8. The kill coming in at Sandbags, and sandbagging, is that what NaVi's doing? Are they a little slow to just pull the trigger on this game?
I guess so. We haven't really seen too much of them just yet. There've been 4 rounds in a row for NiP after that. Pretty impressive force buy of theirs. It was something that goes against the meta for sure, but we'll see whether NaVi now, once again, going with that double AWP setup a little bit stronger this time. They have got head armor across the board and a few more nades to play with. It's simple, aggressive. I was about to say boosting him without that smoke, but I guess he decides better of it. At that point, he does manage to actually force the terrorists to maybe waste a bit of their early utility in terms of HE grenades and flashes while they try and dissect this area of the map, wait for the smoke to dissipate there. It's going to be Forrest though, flashing towards Party to allow his teammates potentially to get a bit of ground here. Guardian holding towards long, and they're not committing to anything just yet. They know that the orbs are probably out once more and want to see where they'll be lying in wait. Guardian and Simple, this time patrolling the A side of the map together. Simple in the bathrooms, Guardian on the flower bed, one of his strongest positions. I think he's famed for this one.
Yes, he is. And there it is. Forrest goes down. Second shot. Bye-bye. Your shoulders are left standing, but there's no brain to control the body, as Michael Lilly will at least trade back on the AWP, but it's a man advantage finally for NaVi. Have the sandbags been lifted or fallen on the gas pedal? I'm not sure which. As Simple, he's got the second op. He's going to get aggressive. Try and catch off someone in the front of bathrooms as they're not expecting it, but the smoke on the doorway he's got to be a little bit cautious of. Texture glitch to take advantage as well, but his gun barrel protrudes beyond the end of that regardless, so they'll see him as quickly as he sees them.
He saw some smoke being thrown.
He saw 1 cross. He saw 2 cross. Oh, misses the shot though. He's got a recock in time for Freiburg, and he's done it. He's pulled it off, and that's going to leave it with 4 for NaVi, as things looking great. As Simple again though behind this garbage pan. Oscar the Grouch trying to absorb the bullets for him. He's got to eat something today as GetRight 1 versus 3. And Edward, he's going to find him immediately. 6 seconds left. Anyway, it wasn't like a plant was probable.
Well, Guardian, the replay on his screen right now, I said is one of his best positions. He lands 2 stellar shots there. Probably at that point doesn't need to phase again, to be honest. When you get 2 kills and you manage to keep an orb alive as well, probably just want to fall back, but he wanted more. He got punished for it in the end, but then Simple, he stepped up the other side as well. So the double orbs have been salvaged once more. Forrest back in the AWP on the T side. He's got a decent sport as well. Probably will go to challenge towards mid. Fraser's flashing, and he's going to see whether there's a shot in return from the flashbang. Doesn't get a challenge just yet. Actually, a pretty heavy stack towards B from what I can see on the minimap. We've got a Flamey, Guardian, Edward, pretty much everyone over to that side. Seized is there as well. It's just poor old Simple by himself on the A site. So is this a read? Are they expecting a set piece from NiP at this point? Oh, there's a gap, and Seized is going to try and use it.
Well, Seized just got the advantage on it as Get Right walks in.
I guess that's kind of a sick little smoke to put down. Is you Get Right's probably seeing that and think, oh, completely clear here. They've smoked me out. I've got some chance to get to all the sandbags, and there's a gap that actually just baits him in. I'm not sure if it's 100% intentional, but it certainly worked out that way.
Edward's going to wait in that corner as well. We've seen a number of players get in that position as of late. Astralis using this frequently. Saw Forrest at the final. Thank you, Rushley, for showing us exactly what it looks like from the other side. It's good to know you're still with us.
Yeah, it only really works in this sort of scenario. You've got someone towards long, baiting you in at that first shot, taking the aggro away. NaVi now looking to get match point, 5 on 4. And looks like a B play from NiP, just walking in contact as the flash drops. Guardian's ready and waiting. Can he land the first shot? Of course he can. It's Guardian. And he takes that Michael-Ady and is trying to buy some time here and wait for the next player to face him. It's going to be Flamey, though, to do most of the work here. Equal exchange for now, but in terms of manpower overall, it's going to be Exist left by himself. He's in a 3-on-1, and now Simple looking to finish things off.
So plant coming down from Exist. Simple doesn't elect to peek against it. I'll play this together. No need to give himself away carelessly and make an awkward situation out of nothing. And NaVi, as a result, they're going to go to the map point finally, as NiP will be limited just their 8th round. And the money, that's actually quite good still, all the way through for NiP.
Yes.
And I would have thought with 3 in a row they were starting to get to that break point, but they've still got 1 more left, and then they're still fighting the old dog yet. The old mate. I think that's how that works, right? Isn't that how they said it worked?
The old mate.
I don't know how it works.
Who said that?
Sponge.
Did he?
Sponge.
What, just generally, or did he say it specifically?
It's apparently an Aussie saying.
Right. Well, it is, but I'm not sure it applies here.
Not sure it applies to anything. Molotov landing just shy of the mark. It didn't quite make it past the sandbags position, but Flamey, he's got a lineup. He's got 2 already. Bomb down inside of the monster position, and game could be done because Flamey's got a hat trick. Is it going to be the Gordie Howe hat trick, though? Is he going to fight them all down to the end here? Get the assist on an additional one? It's going to be Michael-Ady immediately taking Flamey back. Guardian, he's rotated around, though, and he'll cover this cross position that Michael needs to go forward to get back to the site. Remember, bomb down inside of the B site. They have to go this direction. And Guardian, he hits the shot on Get Right. It is just Michael remaining, and Guardian's going to close it out in style. He was very stylish throughout the course of the evening. Good to see Simple getting onto that second AWP, as you say, and we've identified at Star Ladder they are slowly getting him into that role. Perfect time to practice it as they had an 11-3, 11-4 at half, but an 11-3 lead at a point.
Yeah, pretty uninspiring game from NiP to kick things off, winning the pistol, which is great. A really flashy start to it. Michael-Ady had that great push towards Monster Tunnel. Unable to convert that to anything interesting afterward. They get the 3-0, looking lackluster throughout that first half. And sure, they lose the pistol in the second, but they had that nice buy. That was a chance of a resurgence after that. 4 rounds in a row actually looked like they were pretty strong, locking down some decent executions as well. Like I said, though, the most interesting thing is seeing Simple coming into NaVi as a secondary open now, picking up that role from Seized. Seems like they kind of build him into the roster with his own role instead of just filling the gaps what Zeus left behind. But overall, 7-0 now for NaVi, looking incredibly strong. Moving to Dust 2 next, and NiP really need to wake up if they're going to have a chance to get back into this.
With 6 spots on the line, I'd say NaVi's looking in fine form to perhaps take the first one at 7-0. So that said, it is back over to the Aussies surrounded by 2 Brits. I don't really know where I was going with that. I'm sorry, Sponge, though. Good luck over there.
He is trapped in a British sandwich, and we do make good sandwiches as well, like nice bacon bap or a cob, depending where you're from.
Do you call them sangers?
Bap.
Sanger.
Oh, that's a sandwich.
I'll have a sanger.
Yeah.
You ringer.
People must think I'm making this stuff up.
He is making half
you
of this
are.
up.
No,
Honestly,
it's real.
You're the
like,
guy on Urban Dictionary.
we
just
don't have
adding
anything
stuff.
to confirm.
Look, you don't go to
Google
Urban
Sanger.
Dictionary.
Google Sanger right now.
Sanger.
Keep you up to date, guys. I know you're
I'll just go images.
Refers to,
Well,
it's a player.
that's a cricket player.
It's a
Anyway.
yeah, no, it's not real.
It's not a real thing. Okay, well, he tried.
He's found it on Urban Dictionary, but I think it's only him putting them into
I'm
this.
here to talk about Counter-Strike.
Here
we go, right there.
Yeah, well,
a sandwich. I usually take a few sangers to work with me.
There you go.
I do love the Australians. They are
to be
great.
fair, we'd probably call it a Sani.
Yeah, Sani.
Anyway, that game was juicy.
Juicy.
That was the notes that I took.
What was juicy about
actually
it?
was, just to clarify, this is all he wrote down. I don't know if you can see
You
that.
can't see it. It's
okay, well, that's Sponge's
White
notes.
balancing the camera, thank you. Production's very pleased with this.
No, honestly, because I'm here to talk about Counter-Strike. I thought the first half there from NaVi was clinical. I want to use buzzwords because people do that, and it helps them. It helps them
tit for tat.
Because I don't know what they're talking about, so they use buzzwords. So we're going to do that as much as possible.
Drop them.
But seriously though, NaVi, they look like they've done their theory really well and their dry runs. And on that T side, the way that they were playing, everybody was doing their job. Everybody was getting the frags they needed to get, and it looked really easy. And that's where Juicy came from.
So it was Juicy in the way that NaVi kind of executed their T-side.
I was salivating over their teamwork.
They got 11 rounds on T-side, so they didn't have to do too much on their defensive side of things, which is when we were going to hopefully get to see more of that double AWP, which... So let's talk about that just for a moment, because on NaVi's CT side, we were just talking about it not too long ago, we got to see double AWP holding A. Now, you were theory crafting this one. It seems like it's kind of very hit and miss.
So the only way that works is if they actually hit their shots. If they got pushed back, if NiP flashed the corners properly and used Molotovs to push those AWPers back into defensive positions, and then were able to execute onto the bomb site, Guardian and Simple would have been forced to play retake.
Right.
The bomb site would have been completely NiPs, and then it's really hard to retake with two AWPs, and then your teammates have to come through, and you have to have really good cohesion, and that's hard. It's easier just to shoot the baddies.
Good opportunity. Yeah.
That's what I like
That's the analysis there.
Yeah,
that was fine for them.
Yeah.
But no, the thing is that surely, though, at some point you can take some of these risks when you have players like Guardian and Simple.
They made it work.
Exactly. Like that's the thing. It's like
If it was you
most
and me
people,
doing it,
well,
we'd be
we had
screwed.
some great couple games. What do you mean?
It was fantastic
Our drop
today.
hold was awful.
I think we went
tried.
like 3-1.
Yeah, we were good.
Yeah, we had
Yeah,
a little
well,
lag.
Henry only raged a couple of times.
Oh, Henry was not a happy bunny today,
Yeah,
from
no,
what
he
I heard.
wasn't.
But no, as I said, I think you can take some of those risks when you have the talent along those sort of lines. And I think it's quite enjoyable to watch. But as you said, it's a dangerous game to play when you're in that situation. You saw even Simple having to fall back, kind of playing on the edge of toilets before you fall back to sight. And he had two players coming up towards him. And I don't know how he got away with getting one. I think eventually got outdone by Get Right. But it is those kind of really awkward predicaments. But as said, NiP on the other, to switch things over, didn't look awake in that game, if I'm honest. There was a couple of moments you went, oh, that's quite nice. Michael Ailey getting off to a quick start. I was like, well, another prediction wrong on the desk from us. But it kind of fell back in line. So yeah, NiP just looked a little lackluster, but we saw those kind of unique strategies as well.
Yeah,
that
I like
kind of
that setup.
stacked. Yeah, that was quite nice.
Oh yeah, this is a hot setup. You can explain it.
A juicy setup, maybe.
Sewer, is what we call it. I don't know, you guys might call it dirty
Underpass,
water or
yeah,
whatever. So they boosted to check the
Dirty
connector.
water.
I don't know, some people call it stupid names.
That's so many syllables. Dirty water.
Anyway, so they're boosted. They're spotting into the connector through the little window. The guy on the bottom is watching the pipe, right, where they come through, the big pipe. Anyway, they have another player in connector watching party. It's a really good setup because if he gets pushed and he can't fight party, he can go to connector who have teammates with him ready to trade. He can also escape through short or sandbag or water, and he's all good. It's a really good setup.
I haven't seen it before either.
It was pretty good. I liked it. It didn't work out for them, unfortunately, but I like what they were trying.
And someone it didn't work out for us in particular was Forrest.
Yeah,
did you see his frags?
Very
5 frags.
Very unlike him. He's been fine recently. He's not been the player to have any of the attention towards going, oh, he's been a bit off. No, he's been perfectly fine, but just had a bit of a mare during that whole game. Let's be honest, it wasn't particularly anything to write home about. Michael Ailey was fine, Exist fine. For everyone else was okay. I think it was Exist who was actually having quite an outstanding game to kind of kick off with, or maybe Freiburg as well. But it was a disparity as well that we highlighted. That there was like occasional players from NiP having these outbursts of really good performances, but then everyone on NaVi was playing well.
Yeah, I mean, with Forest, if you forget about Forest, every single member of NiP was within 3 frags of each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's the statement that they were. That everyone was bringing whatever game they were, what level they were on. Forest was just not present at all. 5 frags in what was essentially Maths' hard.
Oh,
no, I tried it.
no,
24 rounds.
But for me, it worries me going into Dust 2, for example, where if you look at NiP previous, he can be such a game changer for NiP. Even in the games against, it was like Fnatic back when it was, the full Fnatic, he was like one of the main players bringing it back after they had like a 2-round half and they actually pulled off the full comeback. Like, he's their main AWPer in mid normally. He's the guy who can change everything in that map. So if you're NiP, you've got to hope that Forest wakes up a little.
Well, I think the entirety of NiP do need to get the sleep from their eyes, and of course, we do have to take it to give you an opportunity to check out that score for yourself. If you're interested to see how Forest did perform, or you want to get a little preview of how Dust 2 is going to go down, do check out the Score Esports app. You can get it on your smartphone. So while you're grabbing that, we take a quick break, and we do come back. It will be our second game of the evening. You get Dust 2 between NaVi and NiP. We'll see if the Swedes can bite back.